Welcome to the machine learning at home. Very frequently, when you have data for the machine learning process, you have some rectangular table which is split in two ways. So first of all, like all tables, it has multiple columns, and each column represents some character. But you also have groups of rows, which are grouped for some other reason. For example, it might be species of plants, or anything else. So typical iris data represent this way very well. So we have 4 columns in iris data which are characters, morphological characters of flowers, and column number 5 will split data horizontally by species. So this is a stratified data. And one of the first things which you must do with your data is to plot it somehow. However, plotting stratified data is not easy. There are multiple different ways in R which normally called trellis plots or similar types of plots. And these are complicated but sometimes very attractive plots. And I also made 2 stratified plots which I believe are easier and in some way more general to understand how to make this data, stratified data, to be represented. So let me give you examples of these 2 plots, useful plots to show stratified data. So let us work with iris data. Again, it has, let me show you, str iris has 5 variables, of which variable number 5, species, will split data in a different way. So it will split data vertically. And now I load my package, library, Shipanov, and will run function which called boxplots with uppercase letter, like most of function in my package. I need boxplots of all variables except number 5, and then I need variable number 5 to split data vertically. So let me show it iris. I will call it by name, species. Alternatively, I can simply say iris square brackets 5. Anyway, let us see what's going on. So this is boxplot plots, and that plot will show you 4 characters at once. So it will scale it. This is an explanation why left axis is absent. There are no ticks because characters are scaled. So this is only for visualization, but shows these characters very well. So for example, you can see that petals are distinguished species much better than sepals. And if you look on sepal width, this is probably the worst character, whereas petal length is probably the best character. So they can immediately see it from that simple box plot diagram. Of course, you can enhance it. For example, there is a legend which slightly overlay with outliers on the leftmost part for sepal lengths. Plus, these names of variables are probably more slanted than needed. So let us modify it just a bit to show you the flexibility of the command. So we should say position of legend equal, for example, to where? To top right, where is this empty space. Top right. And also I need my names of characters be slanted slightly less, like 20 degrees probably, and slightly adjusted to the right. So SRT equal to 20 and adjustment equal to 0.7, for example. Okay, very similar plot, of course, but now legend in is not overlapping with anything, and names of characters are probably a bit easier to read. So these are box plots, and this is very easy understanding of what is your data. Of course, it is not appropriate when your data has very many columns or very many species, but in many different data, this is one of the very easy way to understand its structure. And similar plot, and I like it even more because it kind of more laconic, more sharp, called line chart. So line chart is similar syntaxes, but it is based on a dot charts, but instead of just dots, it also show you lines, which is IQRs by default, interquartile ranges. So you can this is analog to box plots, but to me this is easier to understand. So I even faster understand that petal length is the best character and sepal width is the worst character, because intersections between these ranges is much more in sepal width and almost absent, actually totally absent, in petal lengths. So line chart and box plots are very useful plots if your data is stratified. Line chart, by the way, is better suited for situation where are many species and many characters. Box plots is slightly less suited, but probably more attractive, at least at first. So please use these tools if your data is stratified. Thank you very much.